What's up, you guys? This is Rolfe from the Big Retro Show, and I'm here to tell you that the angry video game nerd, all of you, and including me, were wrong about Back to the Future for the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Hey, Scott!
The 80s and 90s were great times to be a kid. Join me as I dive into the world of movies, music, video games and toys, and explore what made these decades so great. This is the Big Retro Show.
Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Rolfe from the Big Retro Show, and this is My Unpopular Gaming Opinion. Now, this is a feature that I started on the Big Retro Show to talk about opinions that don't really resonate with people. These are unpopular gaming opinions. Everyone has one, and for today's episode, I have enlisted one of my favorite YouTubers out there, Captain Algebra. Now, Captain Algebra and I have playfully bantered back and forth on Twitter and YouTube for many months now in regards to a game that he holds near and dear to his heart. And that game, of course, is Back to the Future. Now, I have my own personal opinion about Back to the Future that I'm going to share with you towards the end of this video. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and kick it off to Captain Algebra, who's going to tell you why everyone, including the angry video game nerd, was wrong about Back to the Future for the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Hey everybody, Captain Algebra here, and I want to thank Rolfe from the Big Retro Show for having me on, talking about my unpopular gaming opinions. Now, I have a lot of them. I'm not someone who likes to conform and go with what everyone else thinks. I like to form my own opinions. I rarely watch reviews on games because I just want to form my own. And when he asked me to be a part of this was a pretty easy choice. It's a pedestal I stand on all the time, and I'm always defending LJN. So my unpopular gaming opinion? Back to the Future is a good game.
Back to the Future came out on the NES in September of 1989. It was developed by Beam Software and published by LJN. Yes, that LJN. The rainbow has been synonymous with bad games on YouTube for years now, but I've always thought their games are better than many people seem to believe. Sure, there are some stinkers like X-Men and MLB and NFL, but there are a lot of decent games too. I grew up with Back to the Future, so nostalgia probably has a lot to do with this unpopular opinion. When I first played it, I was too young to have seen the movie, so the plot didn't bother me. To me, it was simple gameplay my 4-year-old self could easily figure out. Not to mention that rad music. And yes, I'm being serious. The music always seemed cool to me. It may be repetitive, but to a 4-year-old, that really isn't a big deal. As I grew older, my love for the game never wavered, and when I discovered all the hate for it online, I was shocked. I've heard people complain about the control, but it's actually very good. You aren't going to die because the controls aren't responsive. You're going to die because you're bad at the game. The cafe was always tough for me as a kid, but now I beat it every time. The angle doesn't make it easy to hit the bullies, but after a few tries, it isn't that tough to figure out. Plus, the super shakes clear the screen, which really help out. The gameplay may seem repetitive to some people, but they obviously never got that far to try the high school and dance levels. Or to see the difficulty ramp up. Enemies start throwing more things at you, bees move faster, and there are a lot more of them. The clock really starts to become your enemy in the later levels when 1 or 2 knockdowns can cause you to lose a life. Sure, it sucks that you only have one chance at 88 miles per hour at the end of the game, but it also makes sense. While the game might not be perfect, it's far from a bad game. From what I've seen, most of the people that dislike this game pay way too much attention to Angry Video Game Nerd and trash it because it's the popular thing to do, or they've never given the game a fair chance. There are people out there that genuinely dislike this game, and that is okay. Everyone is entitled to their opinions. But I highly suggest everyone give the game a fair chance and don't turn it off after your first game over. If you stick with it, you'll find a game that is pretty fun and doesn't deserve the hate it gets.
Thank you so much, Cap, for giving us that insight into why you feel that Back to the Future does not deserve the hate that it gets. Now, my experience with the game was a little bit different than Captain Algebra's. See, I grew up watching Back to the Future, and I loved it as a kid. So naturally, when they announced that the Nintendo game was going to be coming out for the Nintendo, I had to get it. I had to buy this game. And, you know, back in the day, as I mentioned before, that my family wasn't rich. And, you know, we would get video games from time to time, mostly on special occasions. And so I don't know if it was for Christmas or a birthday, but I picked this game up having high expectations for it. And I was extremely disappointed with it. And this was long before any reviews came out for it, or, you know, it was featured in any magazines or anything like that. It's long before YouTube, before the Angry Video Game Nerd came out with that episode that he came out with. But yeah, no, I took it home and it was just not what I expected. You know, I expected to be, you know, a character that resembled Marty McFly a little bit better. I mean, this character doesn't in the least bit way resemble Marty McFly in any way, shape, or form. He's not donning that life jacket vest that Biff was making fun of him for in the diner. You know, it's mostly an overhead game where you just run and avoid obstacles. And, you know, I remember having cousins come over and me being excited to show them this game because, you know, I didn't know any better. But I showed them this game and they were like, this is Back to the Future? I mean, this sucks. And I was just like, you know, kept getting kind of defensive with them because, you know, it's my game. And, you know, I didn't want to believe that I made a bad purchase, but in retrospect, yes, I did make a bad purchase. Now, I don't know what happened to my copy of Back to the Future. I think I must have traded it or given it away or, you know, done something with it, but I don't have it anymore and I have no regrets, zero regrets about not owning this game. And later in life, I have like no desire to own it. Because it is just one of those games that just really like makes me regret buying it back in the day. And I still have like these feelings that I've had for all these years in picking this game up, knowing that I could have picked up something better. And I wasted my money on this. And, you know, I'm still a little bit pissed off about that. But that being said, you know, I am thankful so much for Captain Algebra coming on the show and telling us why he felt that Back to the Future was a good game. And, you know, I wholeheartedly appreciate that. And, you know, before anyone gets triggered with this video and starts leaving hate comments about the Angry Video Game Nerd or this game sucks or you suck or Captain sucks, you know, I advise you not to, because after all, these are just opinions, and, you know, it's good to be respectful of opinions, and that's all I have to say about that. And so until the next one, guys, I will see you on the next Big Retro Show. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and let's connect on social media and let us know how you feel about Back to the Future. And also, if you have an unpopular gaming opinion, please email me at bigretroshow@gmail.com to be a guest on My Unpopular Gaming Opinion. Cheers, guys.